Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Thursday, June 24th, 2021. Welcome to day 156. Joe Biden agreed to a bipartisan infrastructure deal after meeting with a group of senators at the White House. "We have a deal," Biden said, endorsing the roughly $1 trillion infrastructure plan brought forth by a group of 10 senators. Under the framework, the bipartisan package would include about $579 billion in new spending to overhaul the nation's transportation, electric utilities, water, and broadband infrastructure. Over in the Senate, lawmakers have started to work on a budget resolution that would allow Democrats to pass a second, much larger package of spending and tax increases unilaterally. Chuck Schumer said the Senate will simultaneously move forward with both the bipartisan agreement and the reconciliation bill. In the House, Nancy Pelosi told Democratic leaders that the House will not take up the bipartisan agreement until the Senate approves a package through reconciliation. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff pushed back against suggestions from a Republican congressman that the military was becoming too woke because it was teaching critical race theory at the U.S. Military Academy of West Point. General Mark Milley called the accusations from Representative Michael Waltz offensive, saying that studying institutional racism could be useful in understanding what caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America during the insurrection on January 6th. Milley added that military university graduates should be open-minded and widely read, adding, "I've read Mao Zedong, I've read Karl Marx, I've read Lenin. That doesn't make me a communist. So what is wrong with having some situational understanding about the country for which we are here to defend?" The exchange came during a House Armed Services Committee hearing which was meant to discuss the 2022 Defense Department budget. Moving on, Rudy Giuliani was temporarily barred from practicing law in New York and faces possible disbarment for making demonstrably false and misleading statements while helping Trump to challenge the 2020 election results. The New York State Appellate Court temporarily suspended Giuliani's law license, saying Giuliani represented an immediate threat to the public and that he had directly inflamed the tensions that led to the January 6 riot at the Capitol. The court said that the seriousness of respondents' uncontroverted misconduct cannot be overstated. This country is being torn apart by continued attacks on the legitimacy of the 2020 election and of our current president, Joseph R. Biden. Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security is reportedly concerned about the conspiracy theory that Trump will be reinstated as president in August. In a private briefing with the House Committee on Homeland Security, the department's top counterterrorism official told members that it was monitoring discussion of the topic among online extremist communities and that the department was concerned that the false narrative that the election was rigged would trigger violence. Trump, meanwhile, has been telling acquaintances that he expects to be reinstated as president by the end of the summer. Back in the House, Nancy Pelosi announced the creation of a select committee to examine the January 6th attack on the Capitol, saying that it is imperative that we establish the truth of that day and ensure that an attack of that kind cannot happen. Pelosi said the investigation would take two paths, looking at the root causes of the attack and the failures in the security of the Capitol. Last month, Senate Republicans blocked the creation of an independent bipartisan commission to look into the attack. And finally, the Biden administration extended the national moratorium on evictions to help millions of tenants who are unable to make rent payments during the coronavirus pandemic. The nationwide ban on evictions was scheduled to expire on June 30th, but Dr. Rochelle Walensky, director of the CDC, extended the moratorium until July 31st. The CDC said this is intended to be the final extension of the moratorium. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.